There belongs to every human being a higher self and a lower self, a self or mind of the spirit, which has been growing for ages, and a self of the body, which is but a thing of yesterday. The higher self is full of prompting idea, suggestion, and aspiration. This it receives of the supreme power. All this the lower or animal self regards as wild and visionary. The higher self wants a standard for right and wrong of its own. The lower self says we must accept a standard made for us by others, by general and long-held opinion, belief, and prejudice. To thine own self be true is an oft-uttered adage, but to which self, the higher or lower? You have in a sense two minds, the mind of the body and the mind of the spirit. Spirit is a force and a mystery. All we know or may ever know of it is that it exists and is ever working and producing all results in physical things seen of physical sense, and many more not so seen. What is seen of any object, a tree, an animal, a stone, a man, is only a part of that tree, animal, stone, or man. There is a force which for a time binds such objects together in the form you see them. This ever-acting, ever-varying force, which lies behind and, in a sense, creates all forms of matter, we call spirit. To see, reason, and judge of life and things in the knowledge of this force makes what is termed the spiritual mind. We have, through knowledge, the wonderful power of using or directing this force when we recognize it, and know that it exists, so as to bring us health, happiness, and eternal peace of mind. As a spirit, you are a part of God, or the infinite source. As such part, you are an ever-growing power, which can never lessen, and must always increase. The power of your mind has been growing to its present quality and clearness through many more physical lives than the one you are now living. Struggle and dissatisfaction at your failings and defects is an actual pushing of the spirit to greater power and a greater relative completion of yourself, and with such completion, happiness. For the aim of living is happiness. The ever-growing power in yourself has made you see an incompleteness in your character, yet that incompleteness was never so near a relative completion as now. Of this, the greatest proof is that you can now see what in yourself you never saw or felt before. The body is continually changing its elements in accordance with the condition of the mind. Thoughts and beliefs materialize themselves in flesh and blood. Belief in inevitable decay and death brings from the spirit to the body the elements of decay and death. Belief in the possibility of an ever-coming inflowing to the spirit of life brings life. If new life is being thus added to you, there must also be an accompanying throwing off of the old or relatively dead matter of the body. This spiritual law works in all forms and organizations of the cruder form of spirit we call matter. When new ideas or thoughts are received by our higher mind or self, they are warred against by our lower or material mind. The body is the battleground between these two forces, and therefore suffers. As minds come to trust, even to a small extent, in the supreme power, and entertain the idea that physical dis-ease and physical death are not absolute necessities. The higher power must prevail. New thought is new life. The author or poet is lifted into ecstasy of emotion by a new conception. A piece of good news, as we term it in a period of gloom, depression, discouragement, possible realization of a hope, the removal of an ill or danger, an entertaining spectacle, a pursuit or exercise, or art, all these are as food and nourishment, stimulation to the body, and in the absorption or excitement of the moment, hunger for material food may pass away or be forgotten. So we do not live by bread alone. There is a class of people who, if in difficulties and anyone suggests a way out, instantly raise objections and find difficulties in the plan proposed. When in thought we so find difficulties, we actually make them. In all business, we must press on in mind to the successful result. We must see in mind or imagination the thing we plan completed, the system or method organized and in working order. Forgetting the things behind and pressing on to those before is a maxim having 1,000 intensely practical applications. Every business success is founded on it. Men who cease to live in old methods and press forward to new achieve the greatest financial success. If you can build yourself up into a living power, if you can, with others, prove that physical health and vigor can take the place of old age, that all disease can be banished from the body, that material riches and necessities can come of laws and methods not now generally practiced, and that life is not the short, unsatisfactory, hopeless thing which at the best it is now. Will you not to the world at large do 1,000-fold more good than if you expended your thought in feeding a few hungry mouths or relieving a few physical necessities of others? Our more thoughtful people admit that by the time they have learned something of life, it is time to die. The obituary from the living is at best an apology for the unsatisfactory ending of a human life. Mankind demands something better. This demand is now being answered. New light, new knowledge, and new results in human life and all it involves are coming to this earth.